Donald Trump's voice thundered through the hall as he pointed directly at Jasmine Crockett. His words cut through the air like a blade. "You don't belong here. Get out right now." Gasps erupted from the audience. Cameras zoomed in, and within seconds the clip was already spreading online. This was not a polite request. It was a demand heavy with anger, designed to silence one of his fiercest critics in front of the world. Crockett, however, did not flinch. She stared back at him, refusing to move, her silence speaking louder than any words. The tension in the room was unbearable, the crowd divided between those cheering Trump's audacity and those shocked by the raw hostility of his command. Every second that passed made the moment heavier. This was no ordinary clash of opinions, it was the opening strike of a confrontation that promised to escalate into something unforgettable. The confrontation erupted during a heated congressional hearing that had already captured the nation's attention. Trump, seated with the weight of his reputation pressing against him, was facing a barrage of tough questions. On the opposite side sat Representative Jasmine Crockett, known for her sharp tongue and fearless delivery. From the very beginning, she made it clear that she would not play by the rules of deference. Crockett launched into a fiery critique of Trump's record, calling out what she described as deception, corruption, and a dangerous disregard for the truth. Her words landed like hammer blows, each accusation pulling murmurs from the crowd and lighting up the press gallery with frantic note-taking. Trump responded not with measured arguments, but with a growing storm of interruptions and insults. The atmosphere in the chamber became electric. Supporters of Trump rallied behind him, shouting affirmations, while critics leaned forward, eager to see how far Crockett would push. She had the advantage of precision, citing specific statements, financial dealings, and past controversies. He countered with bravado, dismissing her as irrelevant and unworthy of the platform. It was in this boiling mix of tension, pride, and political theater that Trump finally snapped. His demand for Crockett to leave was not just about control of the room. It was about reclaiming dominance over a voice that threatened to unravel his carefully crafted image. Crockett leaned forward, her voice steady but razor-sharp. "You don't get to silence me, Mr. Trump. Not here, not anywhere." The chamber erupted in a mixture of applause and boos, the clash echoing across the room. Trump slammed his hand on the table, his face turning red as he tried to shout over the noise. "You are a disgrace!" he bellowed. "You're nothing but a loudmouth trying to make a name for yourself at my expense. Leave before you embarrass yourself further." But Crockett wasn't backing down. She shot back with surgical precision. "Embarrass myself? The only embarrassment here is the trail of lies and scandals that follow you like a shadow. Every time you open your mouth, the truth bleeds through the cracks of your performance." Gasps filled the air. Reporters scribbled furiously, and camera shutters snapped in rapid fire. Trump attempted to regain control, raising his voice louder and louder, but every word Crockett unleashed landed harder. "You demanded respect when you never earned it," she continued. "You demanded loyalty when you betrayed those who trusted you. And now you demand silence because you can't handle the truth staring you in the face." The crowd was electrified. Some cheered wildly for her defiance, while Trump's bass screamed back, creating a roar that felt like the room might split in two. The back and forth had transformed into a battle of wills, a duel fought not with fists, but with words so sharp they cut deeper than steel. Trump tried again to drown her out, repeating his demand that she leave, but each repetition seemed weaker, more desperate, as Crockett's words carved directly into his authority. The standoff reached its breaking point. Trump, flushed with fury, leaned into the microphone and roared, "Enough! Get out now, or I'll have security remove you!" His words rattled through the chamber, his supporters shouting in triumph, convinced he had seized control. But Crockett didn't move an inch. Instead, she raised her voice above the chaos, her words slicing through the noise like a siren. "You can shout all you want, but the truth won't leave this room. You're terrified because you know you can't silence me. Not today, not ever." The line hit like a lightning strike. The chamber exploded in cheers and gasps, drowning out Trump's attempt to continue. He barked over the noise, demanding order, but no one listened. 15 seconds after his thunderous demand, the balance shifted. Trump's hand shot up, motioning frantically. "Quiet! I need silence!" His voice cracked, no longer a roar but a plea. "Silence, please!" The mighty figure who had commanded the stage now found himself begging the crowd for calm, his authority slipping through his grasp like sand. The sudden reversal stunned the audience. In an instant, the man who demanded obedience was reduced to pleading for control, while Crockett stood firm, unshaken, her presence magnified by his desperation. The chamber slowly quieted, but the damage was already done. Trump's demand had collapsed into desperation, his plea for silence echoing louder than his earlier threats. For the audience, the symbolism was undeniable. The man who once thrived on dominance had been forced to beg for control in the face of an unshakable challenger. Crockett stood tall, her voice steady as she delivered the final blow. "You wanted me gone, but all you proved is that you cannot withstand the truth. You cannot silence it, and you cannot silence me." The words lingered in the air, replayed in every camera, etched into every headline that would follow. Commentators rushed to declare the moment a turning point, a raw demonstration of power shifting before their eyes. Supporters of Trump tried to spin the plea for silence as a tactical move, but critics seized it as proof of his vulnerability. Across social media, the clash ignited into wildfire. Hashtags trended worldwide, memes flooded the internet, and pundits replayed the 15-second swing from dominance to desperation again and again. The spectacle had transcended the room. It had become a national drama. In the end, the confrontation was more than just words between two political figures. It was a reminder of how fragile power can be, how quickly arrogance can turn into weakness, and how a single voice, unafraid to speak, can unravel the illusion of control. For Trump, the moment would follow him like a shadow, replayed endlessly as a symbol of a leader undone not by force, but by words he could not suppress. For Crockett, it was a defining stand, proof that defiance in the face of intimidation could echo louder than any demand for silence. And for America, it was a mirror, reflecting the deep divisions, the hunger for truth, and the drama of a democracy where even 15 seconds can change everything. The confrontation did not end with Trump's desperate plea. The silence he begged for lasted only a moment before the chamber erupted once more, this time with reporters shouting questions and cameras flashing like lightning. Every angle of his face, every twitch of his expression was captured and broadcast instantly. For millions watching live, it was not just a political clash. It was a revelation of weakness, a man once feared now visibly rattled. Crockett seized the moment. "This isn't just about me," she declared, her words cutting through the noise. "It's about every voice you tried to silence. Women, workers, families, the people you call unimportant. You may try to erase me from this room, but you cannot erase them from history." Her defiance fueled the crowd, sparking chants that echoed through the walls. Trump raised his hands again, pleading for order, but the atmosphere had slipped beyond his control. His allies shouted in defense, but their voices were drowned by the growing roar of support for Crockett's stand. Commentators on every network scrambled to interpret the unfolding drama. Some said it was the clearest sign yet that Trump had lost his grip on the stage he once dominated. Others argued it revealed the power of fearless opposition, that one sharp voice could rattle even the loudest figure in American politics. Within minutes, social media platforms were flooded with clips of the exchange. One 15-second video showing Trump's demand, followed by his desperate plea, racked up millions of views in less than an hour. Hashtags like #begging for silence and #Crockett strikes shot to the top of trending lists worldwide. Memes compared Trump's collapse to past historical downfalls, while supporters and critics battled furiously in comment sections, each side claiming victory. But beyond the noise of headlines and viral posts, the confrontation left a deeper impression. It highlighted the fragility of authority built on intimidation, showing how quickly it can unravel when challenged by courage and truth. Trump's demand to silence Crockett had been intended to crush opposition, yet it became the moment that amplified her voice louder than ever before. The legacy of that clash was immediate. Late-night shows replayed it with biting humor, political analysts dissected every word, and ordinary Americans debated what it said about leadership in the country. Some saw Trump's desperation as proof that his era of dominance was fading. Others saw Crockett's defiance as a spark, proof that a new generation of leaders was ready to stand unshaken in the storm. In the end, it was more than a clash between two names. It was a spectacle that revealed the soul of a nation, divided, restless, and hungry for truth. And as the echoes of that 15-second reversal reverberated across America, one thing became clear. History had just been written in the most unexpected way, and the world would not forget it.